video game entity that has not laid people off because we're not paid. So, hey, how's it going? Welcome. Uh, it's Paul, it's Rhett, it's James. Here we are. How are you? I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. James, how you been?
Paul, I've been okay. I was just at the I was in Grand Prairie. I was with the family, hanging out with the nephews. Doing all that good stuff. It's in Grand Prairie, so it's not that great, but the people are nice.
Good old GP.
Yeah,
What could go
city of
wrong?
mud, city of mud and dreams and very large trucks.
For those who don't know, Grand Prairie is that city in Alberta, the one that didn't burn down. That's far north. That would be
Yeah.
Fort McMurray.
Yeah, Fort Mac is mostly gone, is my understanding. But the population dropped by about 20,000 because a lot of people can't live there anymore. But it's little bits like that.
Most of the residents in Fort McMurray are in fact oil barrels, though. So,
Hmm.
or ducks covered in um, fracking residue.
Yeah, the fracking ducks. They
The frucks.
they
Yeah, yeah.
also yeah they also account for a lot of the truck sales. It's a whole thing. It's a complicated network of cool individuals that are definitely human. Anyways, fucking video games, man. Fucking video games.
Joe, how about those? Do we want to pretend that this is a real cool and nice and happy day, or should we just talk about the Microsoft shaped elephant in the layoff room first, and then go
Yeah,
to cool?
we can start with air horse shit and move on to something that's less awful.
Okay. So, what happened? Everything was rosy and Phil Spencery.
Well, well, clearly everything was not particularly rosy, or not even Phil Spencer knew what was happening because he is quite possibly the world's most well-paid hand puppet. And he doesn't like do. I don't know if he does anything. You know what? That's disrespectful. I actually don't know. I don't think that C-suite jobs are real generally. So I feel pretty comfortable saying that Phil doesn't really do shit. I think there's a whole system that exists to make people like Phil feel like they have a real job because they need somebody affable, personable, and relatable to stick in front of the cameras and wear the standard game director uniform to as a sort of like clever camouflage to make us feel like we're looking at a person and not again a hand puppet. Um, so he didn't know. He had no idea, or at least what he was saying on his public appearances did not in any way allude to this like upcoming fuckery.
Well, the probably what happened is the C's that were larger than his C called him up and said, "Phil, you got to spend less. You got to spend less tomorrow." And he went, "Well, I guess I have to burn my Redfall T-shirt. Got to burn my Ghostwire Tokyo T-shirt. Send him packing."
Like, I get the idea that a big company gets too big for its britches, too big to feed itself, and it needs to you know, cut some dead weight. But how did they make this decision based on since they don't like release games very often? You know what I mean? Like their studios very rarely make shit. And the two studios that they have that actually make shit, they're like, well, no, we can't have that. We can't have people who make games. That's ridiculous. You have to go. All of you have to go right now. That's not actually what we do here. This is a Game Pass experiment that's hurtling towards failure, and we can't have any distractions. We have to trim the fat, aka the developers, so that we can turn into like a Steam competitor with a worse UI.
So for those who don't know, Microsoft closed a lot of studios
Mhm.
yesterday, including, all of them are Bethesda ZeniMax studios. So Arcane Austin, who made most recently Redfall, but also made Dishonored, Prey, some very good games. Tango Gameworks, most recently put out Hi-Fi Rush. Before that, Ghostwire Tokyo, The Evil Within, lots of very good games. And then a couple of studios who I really don't know what they did. Alpha Dog and Roundhouse.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's very interesting choices of who to shut down.
So if it's all Bethesda ZeniMax properties, does that mean that they like um what's that all about? Because like I don't I don't have a ton of good things to say about Bethesda ZeniMax, but they do pretty regularly produce. Like there's titles that Bethesda has that are like little cash cows. They're not crazy. It's not like GTA level that I'm aware of, but like Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, these are moneymakers. These produce. They generate income regularly and like a respectable amount of it.
So I think
But it's just
some of the devs from Roundhouse are moving to ZeniMax Online to work on Elder Scrolls.
okay.
So it wasn't everyone, just about everyone.
Yeah, just like 90% of the people that they asked for,
Mostly
like
everyone.
okay. Like I get feeling vindictive about Bethesda and being like, well, we have to cut some of you. It feels like, you know what it feels like? It feels like in the fucking action movies where the bad guys got a bunch of the hostages and it's all people that the hero loves and cares about, and he's like, well, I want you to do what I ask, and so I'm just to show you I'm serious. I'm gonna grab a family member and shoot them in the back of the neck right in front of you, just to let you know that this is real. And so instead of killing, Bethesda Prime, they take one of their plucky children and just fucking boom, boom, just like double tap right in the back of the neck, and be like, now you know this is for real. And you're like, oh, okay, get to the third act here, all right. You know?
Yeah. And here's the thing that really gets me about this is how hard they pushed to make sure that they bought every single publisher, developer that they could possibly get their hands on. Crushing babies, throwing children in front of buses. They would do whatever they could to make sure that Activision and Blizzard joined the Xbox family after they'd already spent billions and billions and billions of dollars on ZeniMax and Bethesda. Is there such lack of foresight and planning within the Xbox division and Microsoft more broadly that you could not have foreseen that operating costs would be high when you buy that many studios? What did you think was going to happen? And that it makes me really worried for other studios of that similar caliber producing similar style games, most notably the one that's coming out later this month, Hellblade 2 from Ninja Theory. If Hellblade 2 doesn't perform, doesn't sell, like I'm sure Hi-Fi Rush didn't sell because it's on Game Pass, are they next? They're just going to shred that bad boy too?
It feels unfair because they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush with no fanfare, complete on Game Pass for free. And it was just like, Yeah, it didn't sell well. No shit, it didn't sell well. What was your plan? Like, was that always the move, or it's just like, listen, we need you to produce just enough good shit to juice Game Pass for a few months, and then once you've outlived your usefulness, we're just gonna shred you. And until like, were they just bumping their subscriber numbers up enough to justify the purchase of Activision Blizzard? Like, is there some sort of 4D chess happening that I don't know about? Like,
I mean, maybe, but they've been so vocal to the Xbox fan base that, you know, we love the Japanese gaming community. We want to be a bigger part of that. That's why we've got Tango Gameworks now to make Japanese games, build the Xbox brand in Japan. Or maybe we'll just close them. Maybe we'll just shut it down. No foresight. There is no plan at Xbox. But to be fair, it seems like there's very much no plan at Sony at this point either.
that's right. They it was a race to the bottom between Microsoft and Sony, and it looked like Sony was gonna win. They were doing so good. They were just plummeting as fast as they possibly could. And then Microsoft just comes in from around the fucking corner at the last minute, be like, no, we're gonna do this. And then they just activated the Nitro, and that was it. Xbox won, but fuck man, it was so close.
Yeah, they came around the corner, and there's Phil and there's Matt Booty. They're like stretching out, like, yeah, getting the shoulders limbered up. And they're like, all right,
Yeah.
we're gonna take
Oh
this
my
news cycle.
God.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Yeah. Oh man, for a minute there, that Helldivers 2 shit, it really looked that they were gonna do it.
Yeah, so to bring everyone up to speed on what happened there, Helldivers 2, one of the great successes of 2024 thus far. People love it on all platforms that it's currently available on. So Sony decided that they would just require that everyone connect their current playing account to the PSN. It's never been a requirement since the game released. They decided now's the time. You got to connect to PSN. Problem with that, connecting to PSN, that's fine. That's one thing. That's like 2 minutes to get the thing done. However, they sold the game in 174 countries, and about 30 of them have PSN. So with this requirement, anyone in that 140 some odd countries that bought Helldivers 2 would no longer be able to play it. Who thought that was a good idea?
Well,
They were just listen, they thought, man, we're making a lot of money. What if we made a lot less? What if, and hear me out, what if we make 1/20th of the money we were making before? What do you think, guys? Huh? Good plan, huh?
I like it.
But yeah, it got review bombed into the fucking Earth's core. Like I'm sure there's a weapon in Helldivers 2 that would act as a very apt metaphor for the fucking that occurred in the review score. Brett, can you think of one that would be appropriate for this?
500-kilogram bomb.
There
One
you
that
go.
just annihilates everything in sight. Yeah, but it took them all of 3 days to fucking roll back on this plan.
What is,
Yeah.
It's pretty quick for a big corp, but it
Yeah.
was too slow. I fear the damage perhaps has been done.
Oh, it'll be fine.
I think you're right, Rhett, that it will be fine, but I think they have lost probably 3 weeks to a month of forward momentum with the game. Where like everything was chugging along, the player base was building steady, and it was getting bigger and bigger. But now they've rolled back a whole bunch in terms of their like progress, right? And that can't be good for them. Can't be good for the fucking game. But like,
Yeah, I don't know.
think it's gonna be fine. You think they're just gonna truck along like nothing ever happened?
Pretty much, yeah. I think
Okay,
that
great.
This whole situation is like becoming part of the lore with the game, even. Like, I think that you'll probably see some new content dedicated to poking fun at themselves over it.
There's like a cloak that you
Yeah.
can get with a design in the back that's just like the review scores going up and then dramatically down over time, like it's an actual graph.
Yeah.
So
Hilarious.
good.
So you're saying this was an automaton ploy?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a smart move, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the Steam DB charts for Helldivers 2, and over the last week, the curve looks basically the same every day.
Right.
Peaking at about 120,000 just about every day. Some a little higher, some a little lower.
Mm-hmm.
You'd not be able to tell if you looked at this
Yeah.
chart that anything happened. So I guess you're right. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, they review bombed it, but it turns out that 100,000 people a day are still playing it. So, hey, looks like
Right.
that doesn't always work. I don't know.
Yeah.
It does sometimes, but not this time, man.
Yeah.
It is a pretty steady decline from the peak. Like right after release, it peaked at like 458.
Yeah. Well, that's as expected.
Yeah.
No game sustains its fucking launch numbers. Or its first month numbers.
Well, what about
No.
like Fallout 76? That's got to be doing pretty well. No?
Yeah, I'd like to see how that 1 million players that they got from the show, how are they holding up? Speaking of Fallout, and you were talking about Phil and the fuckery at Microsoft, I do think it's fucking hilarious that with all this money spent and whatnot, Fallout, the next gen update that we were talking about last time, I don't know if you all heard, but the next gen update, it launches, of course, and it's absolutely fine on PS5, and it's completely fucked on Xbox. Have y'all heard about this?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, Series X, missing textures, broken save games, load times that take forever, Xbox freezing, broken mods, etc., etc., etc.
Like one of the
But on
main things this update
Yeah.
added was some new weapons and stuff. And I
Yeah.
saw a screenshot somebody had from the Xbox where like, the super weapon is supposed to be on the table, but instead it's just a red rectangle where the model is supposed to be.
Yeah, baby. How much they pay for Bethesda?
It's like
God, that-
8
that-
billion or something.
8 bill.
That's the follow content I was looking for.
I think that'll be really fascinating though. If there are people who really love the show and they decide, oh, maybe I'll
Yeah.
dabble in the games. Check out Fallout 4.
Yeah.
See how you like that. Compress like
Oh,
you know,
man.
30 years of Bethesda pain and suffering into about a week.
That's fun. Speaking of Fallout, though, Paul, you said you were playing 76.
Well, I haven't played it yet. I
Oh,
downloaded it
okay.
again.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm thinking I might dabble around there a little bit. See how she feels. Yeah,
Dabble, huh?
see how it goes.
Do you play it on PC?
I did download it on PC. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You're gonna have to tell me how it is, because if you give me the thumbs up, I will gladly get back into that game. If they fix what's wrong with it, mainly its issues with the combat, I will gladly get into it.
I don't think that's fixable, my friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a solvable problem, or is that just like
I don't fucking know, man. I guess if they couldn't even fucking release Fallout 4 on Xbox without issues, they probably don't have the answer to fixing Fallout 76 when it's broken at its core.
Yeah, I am kind of wondering though, because anytime I played a Fallout game, love to play the sniper character, long range, one shot, one
Silenced?
kill,
Yeah.
as opposed to the hulking tank with a minigun or something.
Mhm.
Maybe, the delay in things dying is a little less obvious if you're just spraying thousands of bullets.
Mhm. If you're running around bashing the shit out of everything into oblivion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. We'll see. There's
Maybe.
there's a level skip now, so you can start up a new character and just jump ahead to like level 20 or something like that. Like all
Really?
online games eventually do. So
Hmm.
like I might start from scratch and kick the tires a little.
You can jump to level 20. Hey, that's not the cap though, is it?
No, there's no cap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even years ago playing that game, I've seen characters well into the hundreds.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
so you know. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really been playing anything. I kind of took a week to relax. I know I said I'd play Final Fantasy 16, but I needed to decompress.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think James decompressed though. He's been an absolute machine, nonstop, gaming up a storm.
Well, I've been doing a lot of work. Because I had my big playing like fucking crazy, doing all sorts of things, playing all sorts of games, and then a lot of that I had to transform into content for cogconnected.com. So I've successfully done so for most of my projects. I feel like there was one I couldn't really talk about last time because it's just the timing was too off because we did it on the 29th. But I can technically talk about it now. It's incredibly anticlimactic. It's Endless Ocean Luminous.
And tell me, was the ocean endless?
In a sense, yes. It's also barely a fucking game. I just like okay, let's back up a second here. The Endless Ocean series holistically, overall, barely qualify as video games. It's mostly just you exploring underwater, meeting various ocean creatures. So, you scan it or you look upon it, and then its details are described to you. And the first game was like nothing. You were just like diving, and you dived, and you looked at animals, and that was fine. It was for the Wii, used motion controls, whatever. The second Endless Ocean had the skeleton of a story surrounding it, so you had like a crew that you interacted with, and there was like some backstory, and you were like progressing through a narrative. It was pretty skeletal, but it was there. And now for the third one, you never go up to the surface for any reason. You're just always underwater diving. A lot of it is just done through menus. It looks way better than the previous two games, but it feels less feature complete in terms of story than the previous one. Like, in order to get cool enough visually, they had to strip away a bunch of shit, which isn't even true because there was barely any other shit in the first place for them to take away. They just took that skeleton of a story and compressed it to like sometimes another dude that you see, another diver, but they're all just like little faceless diving dudes because again, it's very bare bones. It's barely a game. You basically you run around this big beautiful ocean, you scan the ocean wildlife, and like some numbers go up, and then you get rewards which basically translate into like making sure that your diver can look cool, kind of, or putting stickers on various parts of the diver, which I guess is cool. But like the multiplayer is the same gameplay, but with more people there to divide up the labor, and it's not wide open. If you host one, you have to have a code that you can share with everybody else so that you can all join in on this thing. So the multiplayer is limited, and again, it's just the same shit, but there's more of you doing it, so it goes faster.
You said everything I needed to hear when you said you play multiplayer. You divide the labor.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Charitably, if I was like really digging deep and reaching hard, I would say that this would be a great, like a stoner game. If you're like fully zooted and you're just like, I just want to swim and look at the animals. Great. Fucking Endless Ocean Luminous is there and ready and waiting, and it's gonna be everything you need. But if you need like gameplay, then I don't know, man. Maybe not this one. Maybe this isn't the one for you. It's so frustrating and confusing because what they have there is great. Like they have this big, beautiful system for like scanning wildlife, and there's a story around scanning wildlife, and like there's all these upgrades and stuff that like come from you successfully scanning wildlife. So they have like all these like beautifully interlocking parts, but the whole is so goddamned boring.
Mm.
She's a less than 7 for sure, my friends.
Rough. It does. It barely looks like a game. Just looking at this video. Oh my god.
It's baffling to me how much Nintendo invested in the promotion and the distribution and the publishing of this game, because like I think maybe what happened is that the 2 Endless Ocean games on the Wii sold like fucking hotcakes. Like I think sales must have been aggressive. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'd be curious somebody to look that up and be like, how did Endless Ocean 1 and 2 sell? Because like I can't think of any other reason why they would go so hard on the third one when it's like they were never really games. It's like an ocean exploration simulation, like strictly so, right? Like there was never a lot of game here. It feels so weird that Nintendo was like, well, obviously we have to do what we can to publish this and make it, widely released and hit as big as we can make it hit. And it's just like, why?
Is there like a niche audience that really, really loves these games? I wonder.
I only know they exist because the Let's Play channel that I watch religiously went through the first 2. I would know literally nothing about them if not for that. Because they're like a Wii motion controls game, and I am over the age line where I find those tolerable.
My
like
God,
I'm a little
dude,
too.
It looks horrendously boring.
Yeah.
I've got other things to do.
Yeah. I think it might have something to do with the fact that Nintendo's first party release calendar is completely fucking blank after the end of June. Like, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
God.
I feel like the release calendar in general is pretty barren this year.
Well, because there's a lot of stuff, right, for the other companies where it's like, because when you go to those sites where it's like, here's the release calendar, the reason so many months look so blank is because you scroll to the bottom and there's like a huge list of things with no release date, but there's still stuff coming out. But Nintendo doesn't even have that.
I know we talk about this every time, but they gotta be planning something.
Actually, there was a single tweet. I think I want to look it up online right now. I think I can find the complete text of it.
They said this fiscal year.
Yeah.
Anytime from now to, anytime from now till like the next, what was it, March maybe or something like that? March 2025. Yeah.
Yep.
They said that the Switch 2 announcement is coming.
Really?
So we're within a year of hearing about it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like a translated tweet from Nintendo of Japan. It was just like, okay, guys, we're doing this at some point, but that's kind of really all we have for you. Sorry.
I guess Phil giving multiple studios the old Viking funeral treatment covered this one up as well.
Yeah.
Good job, Phil.
What a guy.
Oh, I found it.
Okay, what's it say?
Okay. This is Furukawa, president of Nintendo. We will make an announcement about the successor to Nintendo Switch within this fiscal year. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 24, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah,
But, dude, we're super aware that it's been 9 years. We're
yeah,
very
buddy,
aware.
we absolutely know.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When was the last time a system had a decade-long lifespan?
Oh, when you go to the Nintendo Switch release schedule page, there is 3 items.
Please do tell.
There's Endless Ocean Luminous for
Ooh, love that game.
May 2nd.
Mhm.
There's May 23rd, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, and then for June 27th, there's Luigi Mansion 2 HD. So 2 of the 3 titles are re-releases, and 1 is again barely a fucking video game. I am so curious what they're going to be talking about in June because holy shit.
What are the odds they got a new Mario Kart in the works? They've been reselling 8 for
No,
like
no.
Yeah, no fucking chance. That's
No,
a
'cause
successor.
They
That's a successor game.
I don't even think they'll have one on. I mean, maybe at some point, obviously, but in the next few years, no, because they just dropped 48 new tracks into Deluxe. Like literally not this year, obviously, but over the course of the end of 2022, maybe
Yeah,
the back end of 2022, and throughout 2023. Yeah, they dropped different packs and added 48 new tracks to that game. So I think you'll be seeing Deluxe for the foreseeable future.
it's a shame, man. I think it's one of the less good Mario Karts they've ever put out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't like how it feels.
It feels
did take
fucking
me-
great.
Did take me a while to learn how to drive properly in Mario Kart 8.
I would way rather play the Chocobo Racing minigame in Rebirth. It's pretty good, actually.
Definitely spent a couple hours doing that a few nights ago. Yeah, that's a nice little mini game they cooked up there.
You can drift a Chocobo.
You really can.
Come on.
Yeah, you really can.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
How's that coming along, by the way, Rhett? Where are you at?
Bro, the more I play it, the more I fucking love it.
It's so fucking
Literally the opposite of how Remake went for me. Remake was so long, and the more I played it, the more I was just like, oh my god, I just want this to be over with. But Rebirth does not have that issue. The opposite of that issue. The more I play it, the more of it I want.
Do you know what chapter you're in?
And I'm in chapter 9.
Okay.
We just got to Gungaga.
Oh, that track
Which
is
is-
so banging.
Dude, it's so fucking nice out there, especially after spending hours in that fucking desert, moving on to this lush, serene jungle. And,
Definitely my favorite
crystal
background
waters.
music in the entire game.
oh man, it's so nice. It's so nice. Yeah, I just got there. I fucking love Kate Sith. He's become an immediate party member. Cloud, Tifa, and Kate. And yeah, I love it. Queen's Blood is still the best.
Oh,
I
it's
need
so
more of
good.
it. I've now seen 2 of those Alan Wake-esque scenes where something's going on with Queen's Blood, and I need to know.
It's dark, man. It's real dark.
Yeah, fucking great. Fucking great, man.
Yeah, I was curious to see what you'd think of Kate Sith, but
The best.
I
he's the
think
best.
they nailed it.
Yeah.
I did
They
not
did.
expect him to be Scottish, but it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good move on their part.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's perfect.
I want to drop Yuffie into one of the open reactors, but other than that, all the characters are pretty solid.
I love her a little bit. I think she's
I knew you would. I
yeah.
fucking knew you would.
Well, I mean, like
I want to twist her head around Exorcist style.
So
she's
It looks like an owl.
yeah,
she's
she's got
she's
a
got
singular. She's of a singular mind.
she's got that ADHD fucking hyper focus where she can't concentrate on anything except for materia, and like she's quirky with a tragic backstory. I feel like every good Final Fantasy game has to have a character like that, and they are almost immediately my favorite every time.
Part 3 will absolutely contain the bulk of Yuffie's story. But in Rebirth, there's some good character moments. She shows some good growth. There's a particular scene later in the game where somehow I ended up with Yuffie in a particular scene.
Really? Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Must just be the combination of things that I did. But anyways,
that's gross, man. I felt like I got punched in my onion ring backside when I was forced to take her onto the team. When it gave me, when she's like, yeah, let me come along, and you have the option to be like, no, and you can say no multiple times, and I did, and I was still forced to bring her along. Really felt like I was getting fucked by Square Enix.
That's amazing. I love that for you, Red. That's so good.
But dude, she is so powerful.
Yeah, she's stupidly good in
she's
battle.
like a cheat code almost.
I don't see it.
I mean, maybe not at first, and it was the same in the original game where you were like, when you get her, you're like, what the fuck is this chick's deal? But by the end of the game, in the original Final Fantasy VII, Yuffie is for sure probably the most, or the second most powerful character, maybe the most powerful character.
Yeah, you're gonna come around, Red. I'm thinking you're gonna come around on Yuffie.
She's a tiny, short wearing murder machine.
I'm not coming around on that. I'm not. I refuse.
Okay, be stubborn then.
All right,
we'll see.
So
I'll admit. Wait, before we move on, I'll admit Barrett has grown on me.
Really,
the stuff with Dine.
Oh
God, it's so good.
I was pretty choked up. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty choked up. Yeah. So Barrett, you're all right in my books.
You've completed the whole Dine thing.
Yes. Yeah. With the. Yeah. I mean, there couldn't possibly be any more after what I saw. So,
the way that leaves off with Dine's dying words of like, you live with your fucking suffering, you son of a bitch.
You live with this.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Just brutal.
Goes out on top of him. His corpse.
Oh. It's harsh.
Yeah.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
Great game. Our inevitable spoiler cast marches ever closer with Rhett now in Chapter 9.
Yeah.
There are 14, by the way. Which is 7 times 2. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah. There's just a fun little divergence here. I looked online because I was very curious as to what the Switch release calendar looks like when you're not looking at first party games, and it's an ocean of it's an ocean of third party games, 30% of which are probably shovelware. Well, you got like Construction Simulator 4 and like something called Adventure Field remake, the Zebra Man. Yeah, just a lot of like random bullshit. So they're gonna have a rich third party stable that they can lean on. But also, there's like something called the Nintendo World Championships that they're re-releasing.
Wow, they're releasing that?
Yeah,
The
Nintendo
World-
reveals
Oh,
World Championships NES Edition for the Nintendo Switch.
crazy. Crazy.
Yeah,
The World Championship cartridge on the NES, the
Yeah.
gold one, I believe specifically, it's like the fucking rarest, most expensive cartridge you can get.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It was like this. It was a collection of games where Nintendo they put on what they called the World Championship, and they brought. How did you? I can't remember how they had to actually apply for it, but I'm assuming it involved taking a picture of their high scores in their games and sending it into Nintendo. And then yeah, they brought these kids to compete in this tournament, and it was like a series of Nintendo games where like you would play Super Mario, and you would compete to see how fast you could beat the levels and how many coins you could get or stuff like that. And there would be, I think that there were 4 different games that they had people compete in, and there would be various parameters for achieving a high score in a game, or determining how
Yeah.
you actually won. Yeah. And
so I'm looking at how they've set it up, and it looks like you've got access to like a grip of different NES games, and there'll be like all these different challenges you can do, and you get like scored from like A++ to S or whatever
yeah.
to C to B, depending on what the challenge is and how well you do. And the ones I can see so far are Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, the original Metroid, and one of the Donkey Kongs.
Right. Yeah.
And I think we'll have
I see Kid Icarus, Excite Bike,
yes,
Mario Brothers 2, Mario Brothers 3, Ice Climber, Balloon Fight,
Nice.
The Adventure of Link.
Nice.
yeah, there's definitely Mario 3 in there. So like,
Oh. So it seems like they've pulled from a pool of games that they already have on the fucking Nintendo Online plan.
yeah,
Well,
so
that
you
makes
can,
sense.
It's
yeah,
a
so
high quality release then.
Right.
yeah.
of
Apparently,
work.
you can watch video clips that show you how to complete the challenge before you try it, and it's all just like speed running shit. Where you're just like, as fast as you can do this, great. And
That's
then
cool.
you can jump into World Championship mode with an online membership, and you can aim for a spot on leaderboards and 5 challenges that rotate each week. Which, honestly, it seems like a cool idea. It seems like a cool system to like. We want to have people engaging with our oldest games in this like speed runny way that's like really streamable and good for fucking engagement, even though they really generally hate having their shit online.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's that fucking world championship cartridge. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut into the lore of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find one for sale.
Yeah. I think actually no, even more rare than the gold cartridge is this like see-through one that was physically numbered by somebody at Nintendo. Seem to recall this. I'm sure you'll see it there.
The gray one is $23,000.
Yeah.
Oh
Good God.
shit, man.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh wait, yeah. Here's one that's like sealed in a case and graded and all that stuff. The buyout price on eBay is $240,000 Canadian.
Yeah. Yep, that's the ticket. And is that the one? Is that like see-through?
No,
Something?
it's just a gray one.
Just a gray one, really.
Yeah, it
Oh
looks
my
like-
God,
looks like
that's
It's fucking crazy.
shit.
But yeah,
monstrous.
sealed, graded. Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's only a 6.5.
Wow. That's wild. Yeah, they're
Man.
so rare because obviously Nintendo never sold these cartridges. They're only available at the World Championship. I believe that they only went to people that competed it as well. I don't think that they like audience members got any copies of them. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, there's very few in existence.
Yeah, it looks like they're like individually numbered,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's
Oh
like
my god.
there are micro switches on the front to
Yeah,
define what mode you're playing in. That's fucking cool, man.
yeah. Nintendo, man, they've always been ahead of their time. Or behind the times, I guess, if we're talking about
Yeah.
Ocean Luminous, the endless.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
we gotta I don't know, we gotta sit down with them and be like, what's happening here, guys? What was the move?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, why? And they would say, because we have no other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious as to what that presentation is going to be like in June, like what they're going to show off, because like either there's like a ton of shit that they haven't announced yet, or it's like Luigi's Mansion 2 HD end of presentation. Thanks for coming.
Well, I'll bet you it's padded with a bunch of bullshit. Like, here's a fucking trailer for the next Super Mario movie. Here's the updates coming to Super Nintendo Land or Nintendo Land. Here's the new menu items we have in Nintendo Land.
Here's
You
some
know,
new colors of Joy-Cons.
Yeah, exactly. Here's why you need to own Ocean Endless Luminous.
Endless Ocean Luminous Complete Edition coming this fall.
Here's my guess is there'll be at least one game that's announced that'll act as the bridge between the two consoles, because that's something they do or they have done for a few generations now, where it's like it's available on the Switch and also later we'll announce that it's coming out to this new thing.
What about a dual pack of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? That feels like a Nintendo thing to do. Here it is. It's coming this fall to the Switch. And when Switch 2 launches, bingo, it's at 60 frames. How good would that be? Pretty good.
Sweet.
Not
Yeah.
good. It'd be so boring. It'd be so boring.
Oh yeah.
Give me something cool.
I mean, playing those games at 60 frames with nice sharpness.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'd be into that. That'd be fine.
The announcement would be trash.
Yeah. The announcement would be hot garbage. I want them to announce a new Mario game just because it feels like they really fucking have to, like a 3D one. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, there was Mario Wonder. That's a new one. I'm like,
it wasn't.
It kinda.
Odyssey was 2017.
Yeah, that's brutal, man. It's been 7 years. Did they beef it where they're like, well, there was World, there was Galaxy, there's Odyssey. We can't go any bigger, guys. We fucked up. Maybe they'll do like a Ratchet and Clank sort of thing where it's like Super Mario Multiverse.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you could even have it be with like where you move from level to level or like portal to portal and it goes from like 2D to 3D, you know? It's like, woo, it's a compression of all the different styles. That way we can throw some more dumb 2D shit in there too.
Let's add some of the worst 2D we've ever put together into these very well crafted 3D worlds.
Yeah. We just throw it in this little homage to make you appreciate the fact that we have more directions to move in. Huh?
Yeah. Although I do like the 2D sections in the Galaxy games. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the May release calendar, You know what is
Mhm.
available in early access as of yesterday, day before yesterday?
Fucking Hades 2, my dude.
Shit. Yeah, dog.
I'm
Wow.
tore up because on the one hand, apparently this version, this earliest access version, is already bigger than the first game.
Yeah.
So that's a lot to digest. But also, I've seen screenshots of like some character portraits that are like rough sketches because they're like, no, this isn't finished.
Hmm.
And like it is still a very early access, so I feel like I want to wait like just a little while, maybe see if there's like a summer lull or something, right? Where it's like nothing's coming out for the next month. Time to fire up Hades 2, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's only going to get better, and I feel like it's one of those presents you can just give to yourself anytime between now and 1.0, and it'll be so good.
I don't know. I'm very torn
I know,
because
because
I'm pretty confident it's at least as fun to play as Hades 1. And Hades
yeah,
1, best game of the year it came out. Easily.
yeah,
So I think I gotta wait. I think I gotta hold off.
I agree.
Because
Good
it's
things come to those who wait.
okay. Like what? Hades
Like
2?
fucking Hades too.
Okay, yeah.
I think
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think I'll wait until there's a lull in the release schedule, and then I'll grab it. Give it a couple of runs, see how polished it is, see how it's looking. And then if it's still like, oh, this could use more time in the oven, I can just let it hang for a while. And then I can come back to it proper fresh when the 1.0 release drops or whatever. But yeah, everybody's talking about how it's already really, really good.
It looks pretty smooth.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
goddamn, was there ever any doubt?
Not really.
Is there a single person that thought, yo, they're gonna drop this game and it's gonna be hot, steaming, or shit?
No, absolutely not.
So, like, this is the first time Supergiant is doing this and like making a sequel to a game.
Yeah.
Assuming that Hades 2 comes out and it's good, which pretty sure it's going to be very good, if not better than Hades 1. Does that open the door for them making sequels of their other awesome shit?
No, nothing, because nothing fucking landed like Hades. Yes, their other games are good, don't get me wrong, but Hades demanded a sequel with how well received it was.
I guess in sales alone.
Yeah.
If
Accolade.
they've got the fucking if they've got the freedom to make their own decisions, like if they're still, writing their own checks and shit once Hades 2 the complete version comes out, I feel like it'll create enough momentum for them to do something really badass for their next original project.
As like,
'Cause, like, I don't-
another new IP.
Yeah, because I don't think they want to. I think they made that rule about sequels like for a reason, and I think it was just. I think this is pandemic backlash. That's the reason that this sequel exists in the first place, is because they were like, well, we're developing. This is a guess. I don't know any of this. My guess is that the way games are being developed was changing so drastically for so many people. They're like, well, we need some port in a storm here. So if we're doing a sequel, then we can fucking we can juggle those balls a little easier and still produce something soon enough that people will keep us in their fucking heads and hearts, and that we can stay alive as a studio. Like I think Hades 2 was very much a like Hail Mary from in terms of like behind the scenes logistics. And that
That's a
once
good
they
theory.
get their footing back with this one, that the next thing is going to be completely different.
Although I'm pretty confident they have enough of it. I mean, there's definitely enough mythology that they can tell another story that's at least as deep as the first game.
Yeah.
So
Easy.
that's just me wanting Bastion 2, really.
Yep. I get that.
More Bastion. Or another Pyre game. Really like that game.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah. What else is going on? You guys have anything interesting coming up that you can
I mean,
talk about?
I got a fun little thing going on right now, but I can't talk about it until the 11th, 13th.
Okay, so next week.
Yeah. 13th.
Everybody can look forward to my 1,000-Year Door review coming up at the last week of May. I just got the code for V Rising 1.0, so I'll have impressions, and it's probably something. It'll have a place in our 7 scale by the time we meet next. And I got one more PC game that I'm digging into that I have not received yet, so I will not mention it.
Very mysterious.
I will say that it's a game I played the demo for, and I was really hooked. And so, and then I forgot about it completely because a lot of time went by. So we'll see what it's like in the full version. But it was really good. The demo.
Isn't that funny how games like that come around where you play them and you're like, this is incredible. It's very well designed. And then it's immediately gone from your brain when you put it down. Like, how is it that
Yeah.
good and that forgettable at the same time?
Oh, it's just so much time passed, Years went by. And it's so like, it's like, I think it's been almost long enough that the style of games I play on PC has changed a couple of times.
Oh, wow. So you've gone through multiple evolutions of James games.
At least one. I think it's been 2 to 4 years since I played the demo for this.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm intrigued. I'm hooked. I'll be back next week for sure to hear about that. Probably Brett's gonna show up too.
Probably, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Makes sense.
usually.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, you're not going to be dead.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think so.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Yeah, well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Press X2 Podcast. It's been fun. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting, fellas. Always appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing about what you got going on next. And hopefully we don't have to talk about any more layoffs. At least not next
That'd
week.
be great.
Let's wait a few weeks. Recover.
Let's wait a little while, guys, between crushing the dreams of your employees.
Hey, maybe
Oh,
the
yeah.
next time we talk layoffs, it'll be old Philly S.
Yeah.
Big Philly style.
Awesome.
Could be.
Before we go, we did get a question in the chat saying, my bad, I was smoking. Is Hades 2 worth the buy? None of us have played it, but I can assure you that it is. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to wait for a completed game or not.
Yes, you can probably comfortably pay for it right now, but maybe wait a bit until it's more done to play it.
Yeah, maybe check the early impressions kind of floating around. I've been seeing screenshots that have been both very encouraging and very sobering because like the actual gameplay looks incredibly fluid, but you can tell that some of the art assets, which is like a big draw, right?
Yeah.
For like the character portraits and the voices and stuff like that, like some of that work still needs to be done. And so depending on what you get out of a Hades game, maybe that's enough of a reason for you to put this one off by a month.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Let's get out of here. Rhett, you streaming tonight?
Yeah. Hopefully I can get the camera fixed before then. We'll
I'll send you this
suggest.
this high quality image of Yokozuna just in case.
Oh yeah, do. Please do.
Yeah.
That was a nice choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice choice.
I thought it felt powerful. So
Wow, look at him.
he's
The
a mountain of a
embodiment
man.
Power. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching and or listening. We appreciate you. We'll see you right back here next time for Press X the podcast.